So reviewing the last game, definitely room for growth and improvement. Offensively, I think we did some good things, and I thought defensively, even though we only gave up 61 points, I thought Northwestern got some shots they typically make, and they definitely make it home. They made it at Rutgers for sure. So we got to tighten up some things on the defensive end, and I'd like to see the ball movement get a little bit better, even though we had some assists there in the second half. Again, I think we can continue this process of getting better. And it's my challenge and my job to make sure that we stay in this moment and that we stay present on that task at hand. We can't look forward. If it was heading into a Big Ten tournament right now, we could talk about anything. But right now, we're not. And there's 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Yeah, like 2.5 weeks to go of the regular season. So there's a lot of basketball left. And this league is just, I've never seen anything like it. I'm watching Illinois on tape, and it's just frightening how tough they are and what they're able to do on both ends of the floor. So great challenge ahead of us. We got to keep getting better and keep trying to play Penn State basketball.
Pat, Richard Pitino and Chris Collins both went out of their way to talk about how important it was for Lamar to come back and what a good sign that is kind of for college basketball. What does it mean to you that you're hearing other coaches talk about that, and can you kind of readdress the fact that he made that decision and what it's meant to what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate Richard and Chris, two good friends and two very good coaches. The fact that Lamar came back showed a lot of belief in us as a staff, and me as a head coach in this program, this university. Most importantly, the locker room. And I think he's getting rewarded for his loyalty and his faith in what we thought we could do. And it's happening. It's happening. We can't stop now. We can't get content or complacent, and I know he won't, because he always said he wanted to do something special. And for him to come back, I think it's a great example, playbook for a lot of players out there and families out there. Take a look at this and see what he's doing. Instead of jumping into the G League and starting your professional clock. Maybe that's not the right way to go. And now every family's different now. Kim and Lou are just amazing people, amazing parents, great support system. So I don't want to just say it's for everybody. But in this situation, I think Lamar was very mature with how he handled this situation.
Nope. Go ahead, Elton.
All right, thank you. Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm great.
Hey, I know it's only been 2 days since we last spoke, but do you have any update on Myron's availability this week?
Yeah, still day to day. We want to make sure he's as healthy as possible. So I'm not bringing him back early. I just want to make sure he's healthy as possible. So when that day comes, you'll be the first to know.
And then second question for you, Coach. I know that you donated $1,000 last week to Thon. It's 7K promotion. Was wondering, the role that basketball plays in this event that's big to the university and big to the community.
Look, what these students do with Thon for kids with cancer still continues to blow my mind after 8.5 years. I think it's amazing. And when a friend of the Nittany Lion, because the Nittany Lion can't talk. So when the friend of the Nittany Lion came to me, because I'm not on Twitter, right? I'm not on social media right now, and said of the 7K in 7 days, I wanted to be all in. I wanted to be a part of it. More importantly, my wife did, because we're blessed. We have 4 healthy children, 11, 9, 7, and 4. I can't imagine, right, what the parents go through, let alone the kids, but the parents. The kids are resilient, right? What the parents have to go through is just, I don't even want to be in their shoes. I don't even want to think about it. But when I do, you want to do something, an act of kindness of some sort of way. So when this was approached to me, I jumped all over it.
Pat, I'm in the back. How's it going? Can you kind of walk me?
You're doing the camera too, huh?
I do everything.
Big time. Nice.
Can you kind of walk me through the moment you gave Stephen Beatty a roster spot?
Oh, man. Look, Stephen Beatty, well, technically a local kid now, right? What a great kid, and we were able to go to him, the staff and I, and let him know he was going to travel. And I thought that was a big deal, and he knew it was a big deal, and I mentioned it after practice, right before our first road trip, which was it Georgetown? Was it an exhibition game? Was it West Virginia? I didn't bring him to West Virginia, so it was Georgetown. I think his first road trip was Georgetown. Either way, whatever the first road trip was, because you're taking me way back, they mauled him. They tackled him. They put him on his shoulders. They were throwing him up and down. You never saw a bigger smile on a kid to, kind of realize his dream to travel with a Big Ten team and go see all these great venues.
What does he bring to the team?
He's an elite shooter. Make no mistake about it. This kid can make jump shots. He can make threes. So he's always on that scout team, and he's always one of the best shooters. And we know we got to get to Stephen Beatty or whoever that is. Whoever that shooter may be on the opponent's team.
Sorry, one more. How cool is it when he does get in the game like he did on Saturday?
Oh, it's great. The fans go absolutely nuts for him, obviously, and I think it's got to make him feel great to be a part of something so special. And what a year to do it.
You're getting mic'd up tomorrow night, among other things that are going on. Is there? What was the process of getting to this point?
It's amazing. I have my own beat button.
You're just
right
going to hold it
there.
down? I mean, is there a routine apprehension about this? I mean,
you guys have seen a difference in me. I've worked really hard.
Well, I just mean in terms of getting cameras around these guys, the more things
Well,
that are
there's
kind of
some
in their
things
face.
I'm allowing. There's some things I'm not allowing. All right, so let me just tell you that. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity to showcase who we are and how great our guys are and how great this program is. So, we just got to do, what we do, and we got to block out the noise. Look, WPSU has been around us all the time, so that's been practice in itself. And most of the time, I don't even know they're there. I really don't. So just adding another camera, and for me, you're just adding a little mic, I guess. And I just got to, keep doing what I'm doing.
These guys there are a lot of teams that win themselves into situations that don't handle it very well. The moment becomes too big for them, and it seems like they haven't lost their ability to have fun, or they don't even seem to be all that fazed by the pressure of that moment. Why do you think that is when so many teams maybe don't handle it well?
I think it's something we've discussed every day that we're together. I think it's something that you've learned from the Iowa situation. Maybe that got to us a little bit. I think our leaders kind of get where we are and how important staying present and in the moment really is. And I think we're trying to create a culture, one that's, one with confidence, but one that says we're going to have a good time. We're going to have fun doing this. Whether you guys know this or not, I tell them, go out and have fun now. You've put the work in. Lamar, you've been here 4 years. Mike, you've been here 5. Right? Johnny and Jamari, you've been here since you're juniors now. You've been here forever. Like, you put the work in. You know the schemes. You know what we're doing. Go out and have fun competing and doing this together. And I think if we can just keep that mantra and keep that mindset, I think you'll still continue to see us have fun and go out and compete.
And I know that you guys take things day at a time, game at a time, but you know that there's going to be a lot of emotion over the next 2.5 weeks, both probably good and bad, and however it all works out. Do you do anything preemptive to kind of, be ready for those moments, be it the good or the bad?
We can't overreact. I can't overreact either way. And I've worked really hard on that all year long. I did that towards the end of last year when we had that great stretch, not overreacting, just trying to get these kids better, more connected, more trust, more love in the locker room and on the court. If we can keep our eye on that, then that'll put us in really good position. But if we play the what-if game, what if this happens, what if that happens, then you're going to start to feel pressure. Then you're going to start to feel stressed. Then you're going to start to feel overwhelmed. Keep doing. Don't get bored of the process. Keep showing up. Practices aren't real long. Film sessions aren't real long. But stay dialed in. Micro focus on what we need to do to be the best team we can be by the end of the year. So I don't know what that is. We don't know what that is, but that's the goal.
Pat, just to touch on Thon again, I know that a lot of athletes on campus like to be involved as much as they can, but because of scheduling, it can be a little more difficult for the basketball players to be involved. How do the players remain involved even if scheduling can be prohibitive?
I think Mike and Lamar and these guys, they're definitely, if we don't leave Friday, which we're trying to figure out now, I think they'll come by. They'll support their classmates and students that they know that's a part of Thon. So they're going to try to help in any way they can. That's legal, of course. But I think the support of them just coming here, they've done that in years past. And then we've gotten home, and it's still going on, and they come in and go right down to the pit and try to motivate and kind of dance and hang out for a little bit. They know how special Thon is, and they know what it means.
What have you learned about this team with MJ away right now, and specifically on the offensive end? How do you adapt to his absence?
I've learned that we have some depth. I've learned that next man up is real. It's true, and there's no doubt. As a coach and the staff, we had to make adjustments because you have a package for MJ at the end of games. You have packages for a bunch of different guys for end of games, so that changed a little bit. But I've been really impressed with guys like Jamari Wheeler stepping up and even stepping to scoring up. And really his impact on the game is defending and rebounding, and his pace and setting the table for everybody. But now that he's making an open shot, that we become that much more dangerous, and maybe that helps us when MJ does get back. As we progress here at the end of the season into postseason play, it should help us, right? Everybody's got that experience now. They got the reps. I think Miles Dredd has really stepped up and done some amazing things for us, not just shooting the ball. He's so versatile. He can play the point. So the kid has to know 1 through 4, because I've played him at the small forward spot when Seth's in foul trouble, Lamar's in foul trouble. Really high IQ kid, and he's doing a lot for us right now. So I've seen us really step up and come closer together during adversity and challenge.
Coach, kind of touching on that depth again, Isaiah's been a guy that's provided pretty much whatever's needed off the bench, whether it be offensive or defensively. Has he exceeded your expectations not only before the season, but when you brought him in here?
I think he's done a great job. He played almost, 30 minutes the other night. I think I'm right, 31, 32 minutes. And really, he's like a freshman, because at St. Bonnie's, he only played maybe 18 minutes in the A-10. So this is the Big Ten. It's very new. It's very different. New scheme, new offense, everything's. And I think he's handled himself well. And I always say this, when you have to sit out a year and then you get back into it, you're a little rusty, and the speed of the game is different. And the speed of the non-con versus the conference is very different. The level of talent in the Big Ten, specifically this year, is off the charts. So I think he's adjusted well, and he's adjusted well to my coaching, because there's some days where he plays 30, and then there's other days he only plays 15. But I don't see him sulk. I don't see him complain. That's a kid who's really bought in.
Hey, Pat, going back to Mark's question a little bit earlier about Lamar, what's your recollection at this point of his recruitment and kind of your pitch to him? Does it feel like it was forever ago?
Wow. I would say official visit at my house. I remember sitting downstairs talking to him and his father, Lou. Obviously, Kim is vital as well. But at that point, as soon as you said that, the first thing that popped in my head was that conversation. And that was built on trust and doing what was best for Lamar, which is ultimately best for our program. And when he was excited to join and be a part of this, everybody had to be on board. So I always go back to that conversation of, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to do it. And you could be a big part of it. This is what we're doing, player development. Look at the growth. Look what you could do here. How about the education here? Everything that Penn State has to offer. And I knew right then and there that we were going to get a big-time player.
Different note, but we saw Taylor back here on Saturday for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
How important was it for you to kind of get to know him as he was on his way out? You were getting here to kind of get him as one of those faces of the program, but build a relationship with him.
I thought it was critical. So on my way in, he still came around a little bit that summer after he graduated. And I had many meetings with him, actually, one-on-one, to ask him the whys and the hows and the whats and what he thought from his perspective at that time, how we could grow Penn State and how Penn State could be the best team it could be, the best program it could be. And I just really dove into his knowledge because I was the new kid on the block, so I didn't know. I really didn't know. But he knew a lot, from his experiences. So his relationship, it's almost like he played for me. That's how close we've become. When he has a child, bang, his daughter, I knew right away. When he had his job, when he retired, like he's texting me, letting me know. Really special human being, special person. And it was great to have, obviously, his mom's there. She's been back a few times, but I know it was, multiple reasons, but that's okay with me as long as he continues to come back.
Coach, can you talk about being in the top 10?
That's great. If we're in the top 10 in 3 weeks, then I'll give you a better answer. How's that sound? We still got 6 games to go here, one day at a time.
What does this show about the conference? That 2 in the top 10, 3 in the top 25. What does that show about this league?
Well, is there still 11 in the top 50 of the net? I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay away from all this stuff.
Off the top of my head, yes, but the numbers changed this morning. So.
Yeah, everything changes so rapidly, but what I would tell you, it just shows you the strength of the league, the depth of the league, and how well we played in the non-conference versus other Power 5 leagues. So it just shows you, man, we got great coaches, we got great players, and if you don't, I'm telling you right now, if you don't show up every single night, it could be a tough night.
How much better can we get?
We can get a lot better.
You always say we have to get better. How much better?
Yeah, we can get a lot better. I thought our ball screen defense could improve. Our transition defense can improve. Rebounding can always improve. You might be just looking at conference stats, and I'm just looking at the last 8 games, and we're improving in all areas. Defensive field goal percentage, 3-point defensive field goal percentage. Not allowing the opponent to get to the free throw line. We have absolutely flipped the script on that. That's got to stay the same. Continue to share the ball. I think we're a much better team when there's more passes than dribbles, and I think we showed that at Purdue. Man, that thing was hopping. It didn't stick. And taking care of the ball, not giving the opponent easy runouts. And that's going to be critical tomorrow night against Illinois, man. They have speed. They're tough. They got great guard play, great bigs. Definitely got to take care of the ball. Live ball turnovers will be backbreaking.
What has the response been from guys that you used to coach? I saw that BT and Jordan and those guys, they're not a part of this team, but they're a part of this sort of process. What has the feedback been from them?
They are so excited. It was great that they came back. And I made sure that they knew they were a brick apart. They're one of the bricks that built this foundation. And they should be really proud of what they did because they didn't have to come here. And they chose to come here. And we were not at our peak, let's just put it that way. We're on the other side. And I told them how much I appreciated them. I thanked them. I asked them to talk to the team very briefly. They all just gave kind of one-word answers, which was great. What would you tell them? Cherish it, embrace it, enjoy it, be on class on time. Little humor in there, which was great by those guys. They came to my house after the game. We spent time just telling stories. They really told all the stories, which was amazing to me, just to sit back and hear some of the stuff that I never even heard before behind the scenes. So there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of trust there. And then now you're building something really special when guys are coming back like this. The Taylor battles, the guys that just came back. Davis has been coming back. Timmy Frazier came to the Michigan State game. So these guys keep coming back, and to me, that's what you want a program to be. That's where I came from. Let's not pull any punches here. That's what I came from, and that's what I've been trying to build. That foundation, that program, that no matter when you leave or graduate, you still know that this is home. You still know that the head coach and his staff are always going to take care of you no matter what.
Pat, we talked to John last week, and one thing that he mentioned was after the Minnesota game, you texted him, and I thought to myself, when you were a player and even an assistant coach, there was no texting between coaches and players. So how has the lines of communication between coaches and players changed over years in basketball?
Yeah, it's different. Before texting, wow, you really one-on-one, a lot of one-on-one. I still do that. I'm very old school. I have 2 chairs and a lamp. Call that the safe space in my office. We still meet there, but I think the texting, emailing, I still email. Obviously, short videos, stuff like that. Stuff that I think that'll be impactful to each individual because you can't treat everybody the same anymore. You can't do it. Everybody's different. They all have different backgrounds. So how can I reach, John Hara versus Jamari Wheeler? It's a little bit different, but all moving in the same direction, all pulling in the same direction. So I think it's a good thing. I don't use social media to get to my players. I don't use the media to get to my players. I do that one-on-one because it's more genuine and authentic, and there's more trust and more love there. And I think that, if I can continue to do that, I think the players appreciate that.
How different is this year's Illinois team compared to last year's? Because last year they were sort of trying to start a rock fight in games and create chaos, and this year they seem to be, relying on their talent more and actual scheme.
I'm going to give you a little bit of both. I still think they rock fight and compete, and I give Brad a lot of credit for adjusting to the league. The league is so unique with great coaches and big-time players, point guards and bigs, and there's even obviously great wings this year too. They still give you a little bit of a rock fight, but man, they are talented. They can put they didn't score a lot at Rutgers, and nobody has. Nobody has. But they can really put the ball in the basket, and they have a lot of different looks that they can give you. They can play a small lineup, a big lineup. And look, they have great speed too. So it's going to be a heck of a game.